Be advised, mature content ahead. This podcast is brought to you ad-free thanks to the Legion of Demons at patreon.com/NOTLP. If you like what you hear, there's much more at patreon.com/NOTLP. Join the Legion. That's patreon.com/NOTLP. And now the show.
How do you do? Just a word of friendly warning. I think it will thrill you. It may shock you. It might even horrify you. So if any of you feel that you do not care to subject your nerves to such a strain, now is your chance to, well, we've warned you.
I had donuts for breakfast, and that was a big mistake. But then I was like, I need a snack, so I ate a handful of Flamin' Hot Cheetos. So right now, my blood sugar is probably like through the roof, so I'm feeling a little strange.
You are a little strange.
In the neighborhood?
Yeah, but we're finishing up rip-offs today. We have our listener pick. If you want to be in that, bin of listeners that we jiggle and jangle and pull out of, then go to notlp.com, scroll down TC Dracula, sign up for a mailing list, and we'll pull your name randomly, possibly, to pick the final main attraction.
We may not, ever.
It could. I mean, odds are right now there are like just under 100 people in there. Your chance right now is pretty good.
It's a lottery.
It's better than the lottery. Kelley.
Doesn't cost you anything. You just sign up, and then Amy periodically will send out an email or not.
Extremely periodically.
That kind of is extra content.
I would say that's arguable that it's better than the lottery if you win the lottery.
Oh, man. The dream, right?
Well, I just meant odds-wise.
So
odds-wise, sure.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
So Brian won this week, and he picked Angel's Revenge, which is a ripoff very clearly of Charlie's Angels.
Very clear.
/ Brigade.
Or, also known as Angel's Brigade. I started to say Charlie's Brigade.
Yeah.
/ hey, look at them titties.
Yeah. Thank you for all the tits, Brian. It's nice to look at.
It's a jiggle picture, as they called them.
As they called them
back then.
It's a very jiggly picture.
It's sponsored by Jello.
It should have been sponsored by VO5's hot oil treatment.
Before we get into Charlie's Revenge, Amy will review No Escape for Straight to Video Russian Roulette.
Indeed.
Which is I saw the very end of it with her.
Yeah.
And she's like, this is what's happening. And then it happened. And I was like, oh, okay. So it's easy to follow.
Yep.
So predictable.
Catch it and grab it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We have Patreon. Patreon.com/NOTLP. And we just did Origins 132 from back in 2009, where we talked about a movie called Red Mist. And then our main attraction,
check it out,
was Prom Night with Jamie Lee Curtis.
And then the remake from the...
and the remake.
2008's.
Yeah, so that's fun.
Starring Curtis Lee James.
Who was in that movie? Do you remember?
Brittany Snow.
Oh.
And
a name that's vaguely familiar with nothing to attach to it.
Right.
Same. I'm just like, Brittany Snow.
She's a person.
No, sure she is. I'm sure she is.
She's a bastard?
She's a person.
Hence the name Snow.
I see what you did there.
Remember there was that little cult series?
You know nothing, Brittany Snow.
You know nothing. She's the King of the North, right?
Yep.
It's funny that it took everybody a minute to get that joke because Game of Thrones kind of just dropped off the face of the earth.
And we're ready to forget it.
Yeah.
We're ready to be like this thing that took over the world. We're ready to forget you now.
It's so sad. They gave us so many seasons of wonderful content. And then they slightly biffed the end, and everybody's like, I want you to die.
I think
we're like, bye.
This is true, but I think the great legacy of Game of Thrones will be that I think now that's the way people are looking at making these great books into visual media. Is I think it's more we're getting more things done to stretch the story out and give it more room to breathe, because Game of Thrones proved you could take genre literature specifically and do that with it.
Right.
I'm going to stretch your story out, and it's going to breathe.
And I want it to. It's so tight right now.
It's going to breathe.
Are you going to introduce us?
Your story is going to have to go to the ER. Your story's going to gape.
Oh,
It's gonna be
Welcome
a big story. Big open world.
My story.
to this nonsense. I'm going to introduce us because Freddy's incapable of it. I'm Amy.
A woman?
Did you mean he's incapable?
Oh, Zawo.
Who knows?
That's good, Andy.
Oh, I love. I thought I used to hate that word, but now I think I love it.
I think
You
it's the best
threw
thing.
that horseshoe right at the pole and got it first try.
Ringer.
Andy did it.
You did it, guys.
I did it.
Pack it up. It's been done.
Kelly recognized that it had been done.
Get out the boxing tape. Let's box this thing
I
up.
saw it. I saw what happened and I reported back.
Right.
Label the box the thing and put it in storage.
Freddie
You did it.
is saying nonsense.
Well, it'll be
belongs in a
protected by
museum.
top men. This box that has the thing Andy did in it is going to be in there with the Ark of the Covenant and top
Belongs in the
men.
museum, though.
It's to be lost in there forever. Like, where'd you put that?
We're going to use magnetic balls to find it later.
It's a very small box.
Yeah.
So it's just, you can't even find it at all.
So, have we all witnessed, in part or a little, or with the sound off, the Mortal Kombat trailer?
No.
It looks fun as hell.
No.
It looks so fun.
Yeah, surprisingly so, considering.
It just doesn't appeal to me at all. So I'm like, whatever.
Yeah.
Good for people that like it, but it's just not for me.
I do like Mortal Kombat, but I had not
I recommend.
But no.
I've only seen it with the sound off, but what it?
like porno. Is that how you like
That's
to
what I
Yeah,
like
video
to
she
do.
doesn't want to get
trailers?
caught watching trailers for action movies.
Well, you were sleeping.
So-
I didn't want
Oh,
to
a
wake you up.
movie. I thought this was a video game.
Movie.
Oh no, the video game Mortal Kombat, the most recent installment's 11, is fantastic. It has a really good story. And I was like, I told him, I said, it's a shame because you think of the Mortal Kombat movies that we got, and
Yes.
they're clearly cashing in on the popularity of the video game, and now
Yes.
it's kind of, this movie almost feels like it is really trying to make a real movie inspired by the video game, and they are indistinguishable at this point from one another.
I feel Mortal Kombat needs a series a la Game of Thrones as opposed to a movie to flesh out the story more.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, it would be a good
And
one to do a
that's,
series.
That's not like a joke. I think there's so many characters and there's so much backstory in Mortal Kombat. I think it would be perfect for a TV series.
Yeah, plus they've established that they're cool with doing things in a multiverse kind of thing, and I think film studios are finally allowing that to come into the medium of the bigger idea of multi-film storytelling. And Mortal Kombat in the games will bring characters in from other properties in a really fun way that it just feels like acceptable as an audience, where you don't just roll your eyes at it. Like RoboCop is in the latest game, and the Terminator.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, and they get the original, like, it's Peter Weller playing RoboCop again, and they it's
He
just
was waiting for this his whole life.
Well, all I can tell you is that the movie trailer looks bananas. There's
Bananas
blood
good?
just like flinging everywhere. There's just, it looks like it's going to be one of those movies where you don't care if people are hooting and hollering and talking in the theater.
Yeah.
If we ever get back to a theater.
Hoot, holler.
I think
Hoot, 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 hoot.
there's a good chance is that gonna be on HBO Max like every other Warner
I have
Brothers?
no idea. I
Because
didn't look at that.
yeah, come what is it, March that we get Kong and Godzilla?
Yeah, it's March 25th. Which speaking of, I got a bone to pick actually with HBO Max.
Oh boy.
I love HBO Max mostly. They could improve their UI first of all. Hulu has the best UI. I don't understand why everyone doesn't copy Hulu. But that is aside. So far it does not seem like they do not support like the digital optical audio cable. Apparently you have to be able to connect your soundbar with HDMI.
I use it. I use optical.
Well, you don't have an HDMI to your speaker bar at all?
Nope. Works fine.
Because it does not come through ours if we plug the speaker bar into the optical at all. And I had Googled that and people were saying that they didn't support it.
Yeah, I think that's probably more, this is a real inside
Wow,
tech
I'm
thing.
so
but
fucking fascinated. Please.
that might be something for the HBO Max on the app of the device you're using might have that problem. But
Yeah.
we use Apple
I
TV
gotcha.
and it works fine in surround sound.
Mine is a Samsung Smart TV.
Here's the funny thing about Hulu. You were talking about their interface being so great. They still don't broadcast surround sound. Everything on Hulu is in stereo. Yeah. And it is so strange to me in this day and age where every other streaming service has 5.1 and up. They don't.
So if they could just all like exchange information, like Hulu could learn from them and improve its sound design. Yeah. And they could learn from Hulu and improve their visual experience. Well,
what I love, and I'm saying love in the ironic sense, is that these big providers who allow you, like Amazon, all the device creators have like a landing page where you can, instead of having to go into each app, you can have a playlist and it'll pull from all the apps you have. But every one of those individual apps fights that like hell. So they always break it. But that would be like, as an end user, I just want one place that has all my stories.
Freddy is talking about cable.
And
I want him to understand what he's saying, so shut up.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to continue
I just want one screen that aggregates all my app content instead of having to go into each individual app.
That's a lot of words you just said.
He is talking about cable.
I had donuts this morning.
Yeah. As long as I can hear the whatever I'm watching, I'm happy.
Yeah.
I don't need surround. I don't know what's a Dolby?
He was a man.
Thomas Dolby.
It's a person.
He's saying
you blinded me with science.
Also,
it's the elf in Harry Potter, right?
Yes. Mortal Kombat the movie will simultaneously be released in theaters and HBO Max on April 16th.
And Kong versus Godzilla, if it's warm enough, I'm going to set up the big screen outside and I want everyone to come over and watch it. We can social distance and wear masks if we need to.
Freeze to death outside.
I'm going to wear my King Kong mask.
I think it'll be warm enough. We'll have fires and we'll watch giant monsters fight outside.
I was just about to say something that was disparaging of the winter we're having here in Cincinnati, and then I was like, oh, Amy.
Yeah.
Everything's fine because you don't live in Texas. So never mind. It'll probably be wonderful in March.
Yeah. But to our Texas listeners, we know you're still suffering and
my God,
unbelievable. So we love you guys. We know there are a lot of you in Texas that listen to the show. So
stay safe.
What a helpless feeling. Like, listening to somebody like Bill talking about how he couldn't get delivery to his home. And then, like the roads are terrible. You can't go out.
And Ted Cruz told him, he said, well, if they can't get delivery, just do DiGiorno's. Yeah. It was the modern let them eat cake moment.
That's what happened. And then
he didn't actually say that, did he?
No.
He did. He was like, why don't they go down to their Sub-Zero freezer and get a couple of DiGiorno pies out? Their generator should be fine.
But here's the thing, like you said that it was a ridiculous thing, but
it sounds real.
Like, did he actually say that? Because it feels like we're living in the Onion right now.
Bitch ran away, left his dog in the cold house, and went to Cancun. So who the fuck knows?
Yeah, it turns out he's a big investor. He has a lot of stock in DiGiorno.
Yeah. Wouldn't shock me.
That's all he eats. That's all he serves at dinner parties and fundraisers.
It's always in that beard of his.
That explains a lot, actually. That's all he eats.
Yeah.
Do you know
Raphael.
His real name is DiGiorno.
He only eats DiGiorno's.
Entertainment DiGiorno.
He only eats those pizzas and those little nuggets that are shaped like dinosaurs.
Yep. Sometimes he'll eat the cheddar ones. The ones that have cheese in the middle of them, too.
When he went to Cancun, he brought his own food.
Did you say Raphael Entertainment DiGiorno?
Entertainment DiGiorno.
Yeah.
RED. I just called Red.
Just Red for short.
It's a helpless feeling knowing there are people that you can't. I can't do anything. I can't do.
We can give money. You can give money.
Yes, I can do that.
And there's a lot of charities out there. Google's your friend. But you want you know how to research that. Make sure most of the money goes where it's supposed to go. Be smart about your choices.
Yeah. So cool, you guys.
Sirens.
Kelley, are the Popo coming?
Is that ambulance? Is that an ambulance?
It's an ambulance. He lives directly across the street from a firehouse.
He does, and he has binoculars and he watches the firemen watch the fire trucks.
I do actually love to watch the firehouse. I love to watch them like do their run around it, like they run laps and they do clean the fire trucks. I love it. At night, I love when they turn all the lights on.
Yeah,
it's very nice. I enjoy living across from the firehouse.
Yeah, it's awesome
when they blow the siren. I don't like that.
Right.
I've spent a lot of time in that firehouse because a friend of mine used to work there, and firemen, they love to just hang out and play grab ass with each other and goof off.
Oh, that's my dream.
Yeah, they're a bunch of goofballs. Really fun place.
I used to vote there. This is fascinating. We're doing great.
Can we tell them about the trailer park where we vote now?
We vote at the community center, the non-trailer part of the trailer park.
Yeah.
Half of it's a swap meet and the other half is voting.
How handy. It's like
I thought that's just where people left stuff.
They're like, you want this Pee Wee Herman doll? You're going to have to vote this way. There's a lot of illegal voting activity. People are swapping votes for like old Leonard Skinner albums.
Well, hold on though. Is it from Big Top Pee Wee or is it original Big Adventure? That's going to decide.
Oh, it's TV. Pull the string.
Oh shit!
Pee Wee Herman.
Well, here's
talking Pee Wee Herman.
I don't think you'll find stuff like that at their swap meet. It's a retiree.
No, they don't know what it's worth.
Dolls and
no, it's stuff they found in their grandkids' boxes. The stuff the kids don't play with anymore, and they're like, I don't know what this Amazing Spider-Man #1 is, but it's
Bionicle.
It's like he never read it. It looks like it just came out of the printer. I swear these kids weigh so much things.
So much things.
So many things.
They weigh so much things.
Oh, that's so sad. But let's take advantage of their dementia so we can profit off of it.
That's called the collectibles market.
Yeah.
What you're talking about, Andy.
They don't really have swap meets there, do they?
Oh, I don't know. It seems like a place you would have a swap meet.
Yeah, right.
Do people
looks like they play bingo
meets?
There.
The bingo.
Swap meets are a fun thing. That's something after the pandemic. Maybe I'll go. So I haven't been to a swap meet since I was a kid.
Or a flea market.
Never been.
I love flea markets.
Fun.
Fantastic, you guys. I think we really did it.
There's also that movie Swap Meet, MEAT, that Andy covered. Remember that, Andy?
Is that true?
I don't know. Probably. Been doing this for like 15 years or something now.
Yeah,
We're like, The Simpsons.
Yeah, you can tell me anything, and I'm like, did I do that? Like, yeah you did.
Why don't we have articles about things we predicted like The Simpsons do?
You can name any movie and just be like, NOTLP did it.
Yeah.
We have the show. We have 14 years worth of our nonsense to go back and be horrified by.
Yeah.
Or to be like, I fucking nailed it. I got it. I figured out the future.
Mm-hmm.
Figured out the future to rule the past.
Yeah, remember all those jokes we made? Like, oh my God, can you believe if Trump was president?
I wonder if we
That's all we had talked about for like a year. It became true.
Hopefully we never did say that because I'll apologize for that if we made that prediction.
Well, I've always made those jokes like when
Careful with
Andy,
your power.
Mikey B, Freddie, and I travel together. It seems tragedy strikes somewhere every time. And we would refer to ourselves as the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. Specifically,
but then we realized tragedy strikes anytime, no matter what we do.
We had a weird guilt about taking time and vacation and enjoying ourselves where we're like, if something bad happens, it's because we enjoyed ourselves.
It's because we went and had fun. These are things I talk about in therapy and will forever.
That's a syndrome. It's a thing where people believe that their piece, part of the universe, is more important than it is.
Oh, shut up.
Where every time something happens, they relate it to something they did because they see themselves as the main character in the story.
Like, seriously, we traveled and the Vegas shooting happened. We traveled. That kid got eaten by an alligator. The pulse shooting. You want to know what else? And that singer got killed that time we were in Disney. That all happened on one of our trips.
Bad things happen every day I take a piss.
Okay.
Whenever I take a piss, an angel gets its wings.
Well, there's your problem, Freddie. Don't piss anymore.
I piss a lot too, man. That's the problem.
That's the diabetes.
That's the diabetes and the age.
But I was just having
that you're drinking.
I was just having a conversation with Freddie like the week before last or whatever, and I was like, our winters, we just never get that snow anymore. We just really don't. We have these mild winters.
We were having the same conversation. I was saying, when I was a kid, goddamn it, I was snowed every goddamn day, every fucking winter.
Yeah, we'd get it up to our waist. Remember, that was like.
It's like shit. Then we just got clobbered by like 2.5 winter storms over the last week and a half.
Global warming.
That bad here.
Am I right?
Pretty much able to get around.
Yeah,
as
like there
normal.
might have been like 1 or 2 days where it was tough because, whatever. But
We're prepared for that stuff.
yeah.
Unlike Texas, I mean,
Right.
even though we haven't had thunderstorms in a while, we still know what to do. We know how to drive to a
We
certain
know
extent.
how to act like we've been there.
Yeah.
Just act like you've been there before.
Yeah.
Act like you've
Go
been here
get your
before.
milk, go get your bread, and you're set.
It's in our
Toilet paper.
DNA as Ohioans.
I guess. But I grew up in Florida, so explain that.
Burn. Burn you dead.
Anyway, the point of the story is that I have magical powers, and whenever I'm happy or I say something, the universe punishes everyone else. It's very
my
simple.
goodness.
It's such a simple concept that my therapist has been telling me is stupid for a very long time.
Yeah.
Amy, you are like your namesake. It says Amy Vision, but you're like WandaVision. You
I'm like
control
WandaVision.
everything.
Oh my god.
You control things.
I'm a goddamn witch.
That's why I've been flushing the toilet audibly and saying no peg so much. Because Amy has created the Married with Children sitcom situation to cope with the fact that my Infinity
house.
Stone was torn out of my head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spoiler, sorry.
Oh no. Okay. Well,
But you've always put your hand down your pants, so that we can't explain that
That's
away.
true. That part was the same.
yeah.
Where's Kelly Bundy?
Here.
In my house?
Who moved my cheese?
You want to move on?
Yeah.
What?
You don't know that who moved my cheese? That's a whole.
Yeah.
It's about
Business.
It's about shifting goals in the workplace and how.
Oh, okay. I don't know this little business lingo talk.
Yeah. Okay.
Who moved my cheese? You people.
Who
It's
moved my
very late
cheese?
80s.
Golden parachutes. I'm okay. You're okay.
We're going to.
The 7 habits of highly effective Kelly Bundys.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Sure.
Can we move on, Friday?
Big hat, no
Oh,
cattle. All right. We can move on.
Where's the beef?
You're getting there, Andy. You're close.
Hello, boys and girls. It's time for straight to video Russian roulette.
What up, kids? It's Cole. This is ERL. I've traveled all over the world looking for the wildest experiences to entertain you guys. You watched, commented, and told me what to do next. I challenge all of you to find something that scares me. I dare you. Come on.
We are taking you to an escape room experience in Moscow. I have a buddy named Alexei. He wants to take us everywhere. I'm talking the best clubs, the best restaurants. This guy's so rich that everything he does is the best.
I've been to escape rooms, man.
But not one like this, but custom make it just for you. You have to be invited.
Look, I get that there are two sides of you. There's this public cult, and then there's this private cult. I just don't really know the real you.
Remember, as real as everything might seem, you're safe.
Sketchy at all.
They will begin streaming it directly into your device from the cameras. Let's do it. This is crazy. Hello?
What's going on? Stop the game! Perez, hold on! Can't get her out!
What happened here?
What the hell is this?
This is your guy you was just talking to. I don't know him all that well.
What? We were in Russia with some guy that you barely know? Are you crazy? We don't have our phones, our wallets, our passports, anything. We need to leave now.
What are they doing inside?
Torturing us. People are paying to watch.
They change it every single time. It's intense, but it's a game.
I couldn't say nothing earlier because he is always watching.
Hello, Cole.
How do you know my name?
You Americans. You think you're so safe?
What if this is still part of it? No, we lost. Look at the timer.
You have audience. I have audience.
Please let her go.
Mine is just a little more selective than yours.
Wait!
Oh, yo, delete that last part.
No, dude, this is live.
So,
my God, what a long trailer!
It was kind of a long trailer.
It was only 2:41, but I guess it is kind of long.
Hostile vibes.
Yeah,
definitely.
It reminded me watching this movie, No Escape, that movies have taught me to be terrified of Eastern Europe.
Did it say in that trailer this is the same director who did Escape Room? Didn't it start with from the director of Escape Room?
I wasn't looking.
No, I didn't see that.
I'm gonna look.
I remember I saw that already, so you don't need to.
You saw it too. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That movie wasn't great.
That was like a less violent version of this movie.
Yeah. This movie was not great. I think when Shayna said, I watched this, I think she said it wasn't great, but it was watchable and fun. And that was true for most of it. But it just got boring and it was entirely predictable. I figured out what was happening very early on because I'm extremely smart.
What was happening?
You've seen the game. You've seen this movie.
I have
not seen the game.
David Fincher. Oh, okay. The game. Do you know what happens in the game? Have you been spoiled on it?
Game is great. I love the game.
Watch the game. It's really good. It's a David Fincher movie.
Michael Douglas.
I picked
it as one of my podcasters' choice.
Yeah, but I don't think I was on.
Oh, okay. So I've already, if you know the game, then I've already spoiled this movie for you. I don't think it's great enough, so I'm happy to spoil right now. No Escape is on Hulu if you want to go watch it. But you got this guy, and he's a YouTuber, and he goes to exotic places and films it and makes money off of that, and that's the dream. That is the dream.
Seems like it's not like this guy seems like a Logan Paul type or Jake Paul.
He's not as awful. I don't know much about Logan Paul and Jake Paul, but what I know is gross.
This is like the new subgenre found footage. I feel like we're gonna get a lot of this.
Yeah, Andy just reviewed Spree.
Yeah.
There's other ones that are missing from my brain right now.
Well, this movie wasn't really a found footage. It was, but it had moments.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was regular traditional.
It's a regular movie,
style.
but you do get to see some of the filming, whatever. So this dude, he has this YouTube channel and it's 10 years old, and his friends have promised him a super thing for as a surprise for his 10-year anniversary. They're gonna go to Moscow, and you heard in the trailer the guy's like, I know this guy, and he can set up this escape room in Moscow. So he's there with his friends, his girlfriend, and things are very Russian. They're at a club, and then dudes start a fight, and then it escalates, and then
vodka everywhere.
So much vodka, and whatever, and who cares? So they get to the escape room experience, and then it starts getting really intense. You have to figure out this puzzle, or your friend is being electrocuted. Every time you don't pass, or
like that.
Yeah, and it's very scary. But they all kind of get out of these jams they're in. A tank of water, a electric chair, what's that thing where you're in the thing and then it closes and it's full of spikes?
Iron Maiden.
An Iron Maiden.
Run for
Excellent.
But so on and so forth.
Bogus.
And they're all terrified at this point, and they know they're being live streamed because that was the point of it. This experience is that it would be live streamed to this dude's channel, whatever. And then, and everything seems normal, if intense, until a certain point, and then they start dying, and then the dude's like, oh my God, I can't believe this thing is real, and there's big Russian guys in masks, and I'm scared, and I'm being live streamed on some sort of underground black market dark web.
Be ready for the twist.
Thing.
It turns out it was a makeup tutorial the whole time.
Yeah. So there.
That would have been cool.
Yeah.
If somebody was like, I do special effects makeup, and this was all just proof of concept.
And it gets to the end, and he thinks all of his friends are dead. His girlfriend's dead, and he kills the guy he thinks did it. And surprise, it was all his friends are alive, and his girlfriend's alive, and it was all an elaborate setup.
Oh, well, that's their fault.
But he killed a guy. It is their fault. They are bad friends.
Fuck them. You can't expect anything less than that.
You can't like set this thing up where you make somebody watch all of his friends die in front of him.
Right. If Andy had punched me one of those thousands of times that I've scared him, I wouldn't blame him.
No.
I went in knowing the possibility of getting my clock cleaned was there always.
And I never learned. I'm like a goldfish.
Yeah, you are a good clock cleaner to clean out the hands on my grandfather's grandfather clock.
You got dirty hands, huh?
I'm like, sure, I'll go in this dark room, Freddy. Where are the lights?
Oh, my friend Matt they're making him, he's playing a clown in something, and they sent me a picture of it the other day. Matt Riffle, you know him.
In a movie?
Yeah, in some project they're doing.
Yeah.
And I was like, is it a creepy clown or a funny clown? They're like, no, just like a funny clown. And I was like, that's the subversive clown now. If you do a funny clown, that's not what people expect. They think you're going to go creepy with it every time. But then he sent me the picture of it, and I was like, it's kind of a creepy looking clown.
But do you remember, wasn't originally funny clowns were creepy clowns? That's why they're creepy. It's not because they're not, clowns aren't supposed to be creepy because they have big Pennywise teeth. Clowns are just creepy because they're people who are supposed to make you laugh, but you don't know what they're thinking underneath.
Right. Well, I thought the reason we thought clowns are creepy now is because of John Wayne Gacy. I always saw clowns as warm and cuddly until I knew about him.
I don't think
society told you otherwise.
But I think clowns are already pretty creepy.
Yeah, I loved Bozo growing up. That was more of a doll thing than a clown thing for me. Like, and I also wasn't, that part of Poltergeist wasn't like, it was more about him looking under the bed than it was what was there.
I definitely, clown faces were used in scary ways for long term.
I guess you could take it back like with Japanese stuff, like those demon masks and stuff are kind of similar. How did we get on clowns?
I really don't know. There were no clowns in this movie. Question for you boys. So one of the puzzles they had to solve to save one of their friends, they said was from Die Hard. I haven't seen Die Hard in forever. It was like you have to get 4 liters of water into this thing, but you had one jug that was 3 liters and one that was 5, and they had to pour the water in
was that
such
from
a way
sequel,
and refill
a Die
it.
Hard sequel.
They just kept saying, from Die Hard.
I don't remember him doing
I learned
that
this from Die Hard, and I'm like, I don't remember that.
No, that's maybe one of the sequels.
I don't know. I just wanted to ask that question.
I think you mean the squeakles.
It might have been the one with Sam Jackson, because I feel like that one went a little more crazy with like bomb disarming type stuff.
Right.
So much water in that one.
So much water. That was the wettest of all of them. What was the wettest Die Hard movie? They didn't do one on a boat, so it's a hard question. If I said what's the wettest Speed, that's easy. Speed 2, cruise control.
It was Put Away Wet, Die Hard, Put Away.
Die Hard, Put Away Wet, Hard. Put Away Hard and Wet.
Yep.
Very stupid.
Oh boy.
This movie, it was fun at first, and then it got stupid and boring. And I saw the end coming a mile away. I'm like, this is all a setup.
What I saw, I actually thought was pretty well done. I mean,
it was well done.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It just wasn't that compelling.
All I got was the climax.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'll just fast forward to the climax. I'm just here for the end.
No escape. Watch it if you want. I love you, Shayna. Or escape it. Pick one, you guys.
You can't because there's no escape.
There's no escape.
You have to watch it.
Amy snorted a little.
I did snort a little. All right, let's do a thing. Let's pass around this Jack in the Box.
Oh yeah.
While Amy picks that out, I got a Dutch oven and I made chili in it for the first time yesterday.
Oh, nice.
It turned out real good.
Love a Dutch oven, except for the farting kind.
Yeah, the farting kind. Not so much.
That's free. You can get that anywhere.
That is a deep level of connection you can have with someone, though. If you're like, I'm going to fart and then we're going to contain ourselves in it.
But what is the service? What is the
That's
service
love
to that crockery, though?
It is.
You know what I mean?
What a beautiful thing Maybe that's why. Maybe. Well, it makes sense because the Dutch oven, you put a lid on it.
No, I
and
understand.
it stews.
It's apt.
It is an accurate thing to say, we're going to put a lid on this and stew in it, and then we're going to taste more like it when we're done.
It's totally an apt description. I just feel like it's
unpleasant.
It's not something that the crockery may want to be associated.
The crockery.
You could ask it.
The Chris crockery.
It's like, how do you feel about the fart stuff? In every interview, the Dutch oven takes its headphones off and it walks out of the radio studio. Because it's like, I don't want to answer any more questions about people stewing in their own farts. I want to talk about soups.
Okay, Freddy. You're up first. Start cranking.
All right, let's see here. Let's see what the old eyes say. The old eyes say nothing good.
Sorry, baby.
Boom.
Your film.
Should I choose to accept it?
Should you choose to accept it? It's called After Midnight. It's on Shudder.
I love the title.
10 years into his small-town storybook romance with Abby, Hank suddenly wakes up to an empty home with nothing but a cryptic note left to explain I can't read. With nothing but a cryptic note to explain why she left, Hank's charmed life begins to fall apart. To make matters worse, Abby's disappearance seems to trigger the arrival of a ferocious creature that crawls out of the old grove on the edge of his property.
That was a lot. I like the name, and I like most of the words you said.
This movie stars Henry Zabrowski.
Oh, yay!
Really?
Bria
I might
Grant.
have to watch this shit.
Yeah. I think we all
Henry
should.
Zabrowski.
Around midnight?
After Midnight.
After Midnight.
It's also from the guys that brought us Spring.
Oh,
yeah. And the Battery.
Yeah.
And those movies.
They just did an episode of The Twilight Zone too with Joel McHale, and it was not good, but it was funny, and I think part of it was casting Joel McHale as a scientist didn't work so great. It was like when Denise Richards wore glasses that time,
right?
Yeah, I don't buy her as a glasses wearer.
No.
Yeah. Do you remember? Didn't she play like a scientist one time, and they just put glasses on her?
It was
James
Merry
Bond.
Christmas.
Oh.
Yeah.
Her name was Merry Christmas.
Yes,
wasn't
she
it?
was Merry Christmas. Yes, thank you. Anywho.
Okay.
Joel McHale.
She has a brother named Murray, too.
Murray and Merry Christmas. Andy, Freddie, you can remove him from the show right now, can't you? That was terrible.
Okay, I guess we should move on then.
Yes.
Move it on over.
Bobby's lucky. He'll be okay. Some kids aren't as lucky. I shouldn't have left him with just a housekeeper. I'm talking about the men who push poison onto young kids. Something's got to be done to stop it. Every day a new drug comes along, and these creeps push it onto kids. There's millions of dollars worth of drugs being processed in this building. Much of it highly explosive chemicals. We can destroy it in less than a minute, and I know the people who can help us.
This is our target. Maria gets the guard's attention here. April and Keiko cut through the wires and get to the roof of this building. Michelle, Terry, and myself back through the main gate.
This is a lot of explosions at this point, but I'm letting it play because I'm fascinated.
So, someone has doctored that trailer with
Is that
audio.
that can't be the real trailer? Right?
Yeah, no.
You mean because it was like made it look kind of cool?
No, because the sound was not 70s sound.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, the dialogue was from the movie.
No, but that music.
The music. Yeah, I think this was for a re-release.
I feel that's like a fan-made thing.
Yeah. Probably the original trailer was like, boobies, boobies.
There was nary a bouncy tit in that trailer.
Yeah.
Nary.
Nary a bouncy tit.
Angel's Revenge, 1979. Is that correct?
Sure. We'll go with yes.
That's what the thing said.
Yes, 1979.
When did Charlie's Angels come out?
70. I don't know.
Okay. It was like 70, probably 77 to 84, maybe 85.
You know what's weird is when you search Charlie's Angels, the first thing you get is the newer movie.
Yeah.
But it started 76, yeah. And it ran until 81.
Oh, I overestimated.
So they were kind of late jumping on this trend. I mean,
it was so popular though.
Yeah.
But you'd think it'd be like right out, like a year after, or like right away. But they waited 3 years to knock this off.
Well, I wasn't there for the beginning, so I don't know how long it took Charlie's Angels as a show to really gain huge popularity.
This movie was production for years.
You weren't on this earth yet.
Well, yeah, not when it debuted.
Right. Andy, you were going to say something before, and I totally interrupted you.
No, I was just saying, what a silly little movie, huh?
It really was.
It was half baked.
I was going to say, calling it a movie, it is a movie, but only by the barest of margins.
Doesn't it feel like an episode of The Love Boat or something with a lot of TV guest stars? Like half the cast of Gilligan's Island turns up in this.
It feels like that, but then because those are the most expensive guest stars they could get. Those are the best they could afford.
Yeah.
So that the episode of Love Boat was not produced by any. It was like the second string team came in.
This is like Graydon Clark who did. Have you guys seen Black Shampoo ever?
No.
It's like you've seen the Warren Beatty movie Shampoo?
I've heard of it.
Okay, but they made this movie that was just basically a cash in on that movie. And it felt to me, I haven't seen it in a really long time, but it felt really exploitative and almost borderline pornographic, you know? Yeah. And I kind of expected this movie to be a little more like that, but this was innocent by comparison.
Well, did we get, so we watched the MST3K version that would have aired on Comedy Central, I guess.
Right.
Was it cut? Was anything cut from it?
Kelley watched it on
the
Prime.
Riff Tracks version.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we didn't watch it on Prime. We watched it on YouTube, but I'm sure it's the same version. And I don't think there was. I mean, it was rated PG. So
okay.
But a PG back then you could have titties.
You could, but you didn't.
There were no bare breasts in this.
There were lamentably zero bare breasts.
There was no bare anything.
There's no bare of any. Nothing was bared.
It was still super sexy.
It was super sexy. Sexier, I thought, than Charlie's Angels.
If you wear like a silk shirt unbuttoned down to here and no bra,
it's gonna get sexy.
The jumpsuits they wear were super hot.
It's basically bare breasts.
If you like a hot jumpsuit, if you're into Evel Knievel,
but you want to see that outfit on a lady, have I got the movie for you?
Knievel had great big jiggly tits.
Yeah.
This is the movie you've been waiting for.
Great big jiggly tits. I want that to be my autobiography name.
He jumps the Grand Canyon, but wait, he does it with tits.
Evel Knievel and the Great Big Jiggly Tits. It's like a new series by J.K. Rowling.
It almost sounds like a Shel Silverstein book.
This is how she's going to try and come back.
She's canceled, though.
This is how she's going to try and come back.
She's like, I'm in, guys. I get it. I finally get the whole transgender thing. Look, I have proof.
I put tits on Evel Knievel.
Giant jiggly tits doesn't make a woman.
But just
JK.
JK.
We know what you're trying to do.
Stop putting jiggly tits on a dead stuntman.
We see you.
Here, this movie like drops you in right in the beginning.
We weren't sure it was. We thought maybe we missed part of it.
Right. I was the same way.
Wasn't it? The beginning was the middle, though.
Yes.
Yeah.
The beginning was the middle.
Fiction.
This goes on for like 45 minutes, this beginning, and then it's like
a cold open. It's a 45-minute cold open.
And then it's like, you might be wondering how I got here. Literally.
Jarring. You're like, wait, is that a different audio? Did they accidentally patch in some different audio here?
I was honey, nobody asked that question. I don't.
We're like, whatever.
I wasn't wondering.
Wasn't weird
how you got there.
Like, so it's part after school special in a lot of respects because it's like the dangers of drugs and Jack Palance's character. Jack Palance playing an underling is weird. It feels against type,
isn't it? Because he's even as his character is so much more intimidating than Peter Lawford as his boss.
Yes, I thought the same thing.
Jack Palance just kill that guy with his eyes.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Lawford, I
think,
was
just stare that guy to death.
He's drunk the whole time, right?
Absolutely.
So I looked at the IMDb trivia and I stopped at that bit of trivia that Peter Lawford trivia.
I was totally making fun of the way he was delivering his lines. I was like,
so it was like he asked to do most of his scenes sitting down.
I would do the same.
Fucking blasted. And then I'm like, well, who's Peter Lawford? I didn't know who he was.
Yeah.
And then I go back and I'm like, this guy, man, he was in the Rat Pack. Then he got kicked out because he was married to a Cannaday. And then like Frank Sinatra thought he like ratted on him or something. Yeah. And then he was like persona non grata after
Isn't that cool? Those old Hollywood stories. The people in this movie, like if you'll go down a rabbit hole with any one of them.
Yeah.
Well, at least those two.
Definitely those two. But I mean, like anybody from the director to like the Gilligan's Island people.
Oh, right. I forgot about Alan Hale and Jim Backus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alan Hale and Jim Backus. So like this movie is called Angel's Revenge. It starts with these 7 women are going to do this thing.
6 women and 1 sexy teenager, according to the description.
And I'm pretty sure this was I feel like they wanted this to become a show too. Like this felt very much like an extended pilot.
Oh, very much so. Like it's all about the women, and it's called Angel's Revenge. And then you go to the opening credits, and you literally get 15 dude names before you get to one of the females who are in this movie.
They don't get top billing in their own movie.
I was like, God damn.
Happy Women's Month, History Month.
Yeah, I guess so. Fucking hilarious.
Wait, when is that? That's March, right?
I guess.
That was what we were doing for the theme and the origins.
In the origins, yeah. So it might be March. I really don't know. Should I know? I should know.
You should. We all should, right?
I don't know when any of these months are.
Yeah, you're a woman, so you should know, Amy.
I should feel it in my uterus.
It's not your responsibility to celebrate your gender. We're supposed to pay attention.
Thank you. Just listen.
I listened.
Yeah, you got Jack Palance, Peter Lawford, the skipper, and Thurston Howell.
Mm-hmm.
Darby. Was that guy's name Darby?
Yeah, Darby Hinton.
Darby Hinton. I was like, oh, maybe that's a lady name. And then I looked it up. No, that was...
Yeah, he played Styx.
He's Styx, the drug dealer. What are the drugs what is he selling?
I think it's just weed.
Balls.
They look like joints or something.
Yeah.
Joints or tampons? I wasn't sure.
PCP.
Did they say something about PCP?
No.
They did, which was also hilarious that they were selling PCP to school kids.
It also looked like taffy. You know, like a Tootsie Roll or taffy.
Yeah.
Andy, I'd kill for some of that right now.
Well, maybe that's why... A stick of pot. Maybe that's why, because they were selling to kids, they had to make it look like candy. Like candy cigarettes.
Interesting.
They were big drugs. Whatever they were selling. These drugs were big.
So the plain one, the plain angel, the plain angel,
the school teacher.
Yeah, she's the one whipping this group into shape. She's like,
she has a detailed map. She's
recruiting, and she recruits first the world's most famous singer.
Let your glimmer. What? No, not glimmer. That's Star.
That's Barbara Star.
Shine on.
Love.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny that we watch this and that back to back?
Angel's Revenge and Barb and Star go to Vista Del Mar.
Yeah, like they kind of pair well in some respects.
Did we mention that you guys watch MST3K and I watch the riff tracks?
No, we hadn't mentioned that on air.
I said no. I did say we watched MST3K, but Kelley didn't say that he watched riff tracks.
Yeah, so the perspectives, I feel, even though Mary Jo Pell, I think, wrote a lot of the jokes for both. I'm pretty sure. Like, I imagine their take was different on riff tracks.
Yeah. I feel like their riff tracks is a little more improv.
Yeah.
Too. Like, I mean, I feel like there were definitely some moments they planned on saying something because they said it in unison, but it seemed like it was real good. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Her and Bridget, I can't think of her name.
Nelson.
Maybe
Nielsen?
No, not Nielsen. Brigitte Nielsen.
Certainly wasn't Brigitte Nielsen.
Wouldn't that be funny?
It would not have been funny. It would have been weird. Probably a lot less funny.
When I made films, we were taller.
So April, the plane teacher who's noticed the drug stuff.
Not Oliver's plane.
She finds out, that's true. She finds out that the famous singer lady who's ending her engagement in Vegas, and you get like a 78-minute musical number in the middle.
The Paul Lynde Halloween special happens in the middle of this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then she's like, so Michelle, the singer, is like, my son, he's in the hospital. He's doing drugs. I shouldn't have left him with the housekeeper.
Brother, right? It was her brother that got beat up.
Oh, I thought it was her son.
It was her son. Yeah, Bobby.
You're not alone, Andy. I was confused on this issue too.
I'm pretty sure it was her son, Bobby.
I thought it was her son.
A loved one. Let's just say a loved one.
I thought it was her brother that stole the drugs and they got the shit kicked out of him.
That is her son because she's like, I shouldn't have left him with the housekeeper.
Yeah.
Why would it matter if it was her brother?
She was like, you know the problem with domestics.
Anyway.
You know they bring drugs into the home.
So that's how April gets the famous Michelle on board, and if everybody knows who Michelle is in the world, so they'll be easier to recruit.
This Las Vegas lounge singer.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you speak of recruitment. I was just so confused about who they chose to recruit and why. I feel, did they recruit Michelle just because she had money?
It was the jumpsuit.
She's famous.
Whoever had the jumpsuit was in.
But I get why they recruited the stunt woman because she, is athletic and can do shit. And recruited the Asian girl because she knows karate.
Yeah, and you're like, she's athletic and she can do shit. That's like little Chiron comes on that explains like why they're part of the team.
But it's, you know what I mean? It's useful. She has useful skills.
Yeah. Explosives.
But they recruited the cop because I guess she can shoot guns. But the only reason they recruited Michelle is because she has notoriety.
Yes.
And can recruit people.
Yes.
And money.
The only reason they recruited the model was to distract people.
Yes. Because the rest of them were dog ugly and they needed a cute girl.
Women can't have multiple skill sets, Andy.
Setup.
Yeah,
but it's such a weird thing. Like you can distract people. That's our recruiting. Like that's my only job. Is to distract people.
Well, she's an ex-junkie, she says.
Yeah.
No, you misheard that. She's a sex junkie.
She's a sex junkie. She's a cowboy junkie.
And they like go all in on stealing guns from a right-wing militia.
But the beautiful part of this
to get guns.
I did like how quickly they said yes to this gig. They're like, yeah, I don't like drugs either. I'm in.
Yeah. This was before the war on drugs too. This movie was ahead of its time. Don't you feel it too?
This could be like QAnon moms can use this now.
Yeah.
As a template. They're like, they're taking our children. They're eating our children in their pizza restaurants. And they're going to form a group.
Do you feel though that like
a terrorist group like the Angels Brigade?
Yes.
The brigade would like deploy 2 or 3 of the women warriors to do their thing, and then the other ones would hold back in. They would hold back in the pose, kind of like a Charlie's Angels opening credit sequence pose.
They would have their hips cocked
quite a bit in the riff tracks.
It was weird. Yeah. It was a weird choice. Like, do they just stay there until they're needed every time?
Yeah.
Until they're needed for a thumbs up.
Oh, and the weird part is, did you notice? And I'm surprised no one pointed this out in the commentary on the Mystery Science Theater. But one of them stood up while she still had her thumbs up, and she almost couldn't do both. She was about to fall down.
That was the pretty one. That was her. She didn't have that many skills.
Yeah. Was that meant to be funny?
Because you can't ask her to do 2 things at one time.
Yeah. I will say, I don't think that moment was like deliberate, but I couldn't tell because the thing I had pulled up called it a comedy movie, but I know because it's riff tracks again. Never mind.
Oh, that's why. Yeah.
Was this supposed to be funny? It doesn't feel like it was.
No.
It seemed very sincere.
It was supposed to be heroic.
Like some of it was supposed to be funny because they had the cartoon sound effects.
Yes, they had the cartoon. I think it was sincere in its wish to make a jiggle picture that cashes in on
Bandit kind of movie.
It's here to cash in and to show you some boobies and some shooting.
Well,
That's it.
At what point did they decide, like, you know what we need? We need matching jumpsuits.
Before they wrote the script.
Yeah.
Because of the Sonny and Cher hour or whatever.
But they were like,
jumpsuits
this undercover mission where they're trying to destroy the drug ring in the city.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be kind of discreet. You don't want these obvious white and blue jumpsuits, do you?
Well, do you feel like that's just like, hey, we need to make sure the bad guys know which ones of us to kill?
Yeah.
Uniforms are like great for that when you're, you want to make sure that you've wiped out your enemy.
Yeah.
Especially when you make it a big white field with some red, white, and blue trim.
Yeah. I mean, I understand the point is to show off their hot bodies, but they could have done that without matching uniforms.
Without uniforms.
At all. Just bikinis. That's all they needed.
I love this. How this movie flirts with going right to the point of being a vintage porno movie.
Yeah.
Like right up to the fucking cusp. and then it diverts.
Remember when the guys they knew they were going to intercept a shipment of drugs.
Oh yeah, the dude's watching and they're like, all right, we'll come down there and let you.
These women are just hounding us for hot group sex. And you know something? We got a job to do.
The guys are going to get the drugs, but they're going to distract the guys by pretending they're going to do stuff with them.
And they tell the guys to strip at gunpoint. I feel that's a very male fantasy. Like, yeah, these women want to fuck me so bad.
And these dudes are into it.
Those guys held out. Those were not horrible henchmen. They held out longer, I feel like, than most.
Yeah.
Well, think about this scenario real quick. And think about
that's why I'm saying that.
Right. I mean, like you and me, for instance, as the heterosexual cisgendered men on the panel.
Yes. I'd be like, fuck this job. I don't need to sell drugs.
Right. Like the odds, like you're like, what are the odds this is really happening versus they are an elite group?
Well, I'd be like, wait a minute.
Anti-drug activists.
I would be more likely to think it was like a cult or like a sort of Manson girls kind of thing. Yeah. And I was like, I think these women, if I go with them and
you miss,
they're gonna disembowel me.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Yeah,
that's on you, Freddie, because you're just assuming that just because they're bouncing around in bikinis on the beach that they can't be an elite force.
No, I'm saying which one's more likely. Like,
no, it would be considered for sure. But first, I would think they just wanted to murder me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they murder those guys, or did they just stole their clothes?
They tied them up.
They murdered a lot of people.
Yeah.
That girl with the sword, she sliced a lot of folks.
Mm-hmm. Well, it looks like they cut that guy's dick off. But then he's okay later, so I really don't know. I can't make heads or tails of what happens in this movie.
I think they were just thwacking it.
Oh, they were hitting him in the balls.
Yeah, they were just hitting it. Thwack.
Oh, thwack.
Yeah, they were just thwacking it. She had the cover on the old.
Yeah, I wasn't cutting him.
Oh, see, that didn't play for me.
Listeners, do you remember that scene in Terrifier? Where the lady's strung up upside down, and the clown slices her.
Yeah,
they saw through her vag.
This is basically this is probably the inspiration for that scene in Terrifier, but this time they don't cut anybody in half; they're just hitting him in the balls and taint.
But she was cutting up his jeans,
so you gotta scare him a little.
So what'd she do? She cut up his jeans, then put the sword back in its
did she put
scabbard.
The cover on?
Guys, all I can tell you is he still has his penis later.
But what if it's all jellied down there? Like everything.
It probably is.
Like,
I mean, it's not in good shape no matter what. Like they didn't cut it off, but like
what they did was
when
worse.
He takes his pants off, he's gonna wince.
You can reattach a penis, but try stapling jam to somebody's pelvis. It's not gonna work.
Can I ask a question?
What makes him nervous is he can't feel it right now. It doesn't hurt as much as he thinks it should, so he's very scared to look down there.
I have a question about testicles.
It's just warm and wet.
Can you bruise them? I mean, obviously you can.
They have blood vessels around them.
I don't want to talk about it. I don't know.
Has it ever happened to anybody here? Have you ever bruised your balls?
Not that I know of.
So.
Okay.
It sure feels like it sometimes.
I've sat on them. That's horrible.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was riding a bike. I was probably like 12 maybe. And I think I ran into something. and like flew forward and like just jammed my crotch into the bar.
Yeah.
And it was bruised.
Yeah.
Is that a relatable story? Is it one I should have shared?
No, why wouldn't you?
I heard that's why girls' bikes had the swoop.
The swoop up.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't
angle.
bust their little.
It might have been a boy's bike I was on.
Yeah.
God,
that sounds
hurt.
like you.
It hurt.
Amy's like, I'll take the boys' bike. And then she was like, peace out, Holmes. And she lit a cigarette and ran a comb through her hair.
I sure did.
And then she flicked that cigarette into the bicycle shop and it exploded behind her and she rode off on her Huffy.
Until I hit
the sunglasses.
I hit a rock
on her Huffy
and bruised my vagina.
And then she hit the bell twice, like cling cling.
Yeah, your hubris got the best of you, Amy.
It always does.
Yeah,
always does.
And that bicycle shop didn't know it hit it. But the silver lining to that, when Amy threw that cigarette in and exploded the bicycle shop,
there were drugs in there.
There were drugs in there. And it was also that bicycle
Really
shop owner from Different Strokes.
Yeah.
That was
double
his
hero.
bicycle shop.
Oh, wow.
Were those?
So that's the sound it made, right? It just exploded. And Amy was like, king, 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 king.
Were they related or unrelated? Was he the one selling the drugs, or was it completely like he didn't know that there were drug dealers working in his shop? And
He ironically was super anti-drug. He was like, I draw the line at drugs. Now let me go in the back room and molest Willis.
Well, he wants some kids alert.
Yeah.
Angel's Revenge. Guess what, guys? Jack Palance is Peter Lawford's number one in the drug game.
You are my number one guy.
It's fun. He's like the muscle, right?
Yeah.
But he's also looks. Was
he's
he
a
dyeing
billion
his
years
hair?
old.
Is he wearing a toupee?
The thing is, he wasn't that old when they made this.
Oh, he
just had
looks old.
He had a face like a catcher's mitt, right?
Oh, so he was like 30
right out of
in
the
this
gates.
movie, right?
I love Jack Palance.
I do too.
Yeah, he's great, but as the heavy muscle that is the enforcer, and you can outrun him real easily.
He was in his 50s, I'm sure.
Let's say
he had to be.
he was 59.
Okay.
Yeah.
When they made this.
There you go.
That'll work. Yeah.
59.
So like Jack Palance has to figure out where the drugs are going. One, where did his henchman go? Does he still have his penis? He does. And then like he answers to Peter Lawford, who's like, I'm so drunk right now, I can't stand up. That's so sad.
It's also funny.
Huh?
You're like, that's so sad.
I know, and I'm laughing as I say it, but it is. But it's really funny too, because when you watch it, he does slur sometimes.
Oh, it's not sad. He probably did some horrible things.
Oh, he was married to a Cannaday.
Yeah, and he was in the Rat Pack.
And he was in the Rat Pack.
Mm-hmm. He was kicked out of the Rat Pack for misbehavior. That's like when Dave Mustaine was kicked out of Metallica.
Yeah.
They're like, you're too heavy, man.
For drinking. Yeah. Like,
God
like,
damn.
you drink too much. Oh, my God.
I drank too
That's so funny.
much.
The Rat Pack had standards of morality. Like, Ingram.
Although they're classy by today's comparison, at least in their appearance. We're like, at least they wore nice clothes when they were doing horrible things.
They dressed nicer, but I would say probably the opposite is true.
I'm sure they've done a lot of worse shit than anything anybody has done recently.
I was going to say our musical people are probably way less intense than the Rat Pack were with people.
Yeah. No doubt.
It all culminates in this silly movie in a crazy fight at Peter Lawford's drug compound.
Yeah. That's where you get your PCP.
They kill him. Do they kill him?
Come on down to Peter Lawford's drug compound.
Drug compound. Do they kill him in the pool, or does he get out of the pool?
He gets shot by that teenager, the illegal one.
Trish.
You mean Linda? She was supposed to be on a date with Bob.
That was Trish, which was funny. Because then we watched Barb and Star go to Vista Del Mar, and if you've seen it,
and her name was Trish.
Trish is a very important part of that movie.
Oh, is she? I didn't know that anyone else from this movie went on to do anything.
No. The name Trish.
Yeah, the name Trish is important.
It's important.
But yeah, she's like, see anything you like, and then she shot at that guy.
I mean, she's still in high school, right?
Yeah. She's one of the plain Janes.
The way you said that was funny.
This is amazing because they're like, let's involve this minor.
Yeah.
Because she asked.
Terrorism.
She asked.
If they ask, you can't. You're not. You, by law, you aren't allowed to say no.
I know I've made 2 jokes about this already, but I want to make sure this isn't something everyone else noticed. She looks exactly like Linda from Halloween.
She's very similarly styled to PJ Souls. And
is it because of the pigtails?
It's everything.
It's everything. It's the jacket.
Yeah, the jeans, like everything. I almost feel like this is one of those minor ripoff within a ripoff moments.
Yeah.
Where they were like, because this was what, 79?
There were only like 4 hairstyles back then.
Yeah.
I love the hairstyles in this movie. I love it's so sexy.
I love feathered hair.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Like feathered hair, she can make a comeback.
Also, I love the half, when she had it kind of half done when she was performing the song, and it had like the combination hair. I was like, that's hot.
Freddy likes combination hair. Freddy likes combination.
Hey, Freddy, do you like combination skin? Because I have that.
Do you like combination locks? Because I was beaten with one. And I don't.
The movie ends and all the drugs. They've successfully gotten rid of all the drugs.
Yeah, all the drugs.
The kids are safe.
No more drugs.
We forgot about the millionaire and his weird pasta and what was even going on there.
Yeah, what? Okay, so
pasta. Wait,
Thurston Howell was the leader of the right-wing militia.
Of the pot, yeah.
That they had to steal guns from.
They had to steal guns, and he comes running out with a big pot of something. What was that?
I thought it was pot because then it spills and it looks like it's like noodles or something.
Yeah. It wasn't drugs?
Oh, maybe. I thought it was noodles.
I think he was just cooking.
It was like this
cooking.
Weird
had an apron on.
moment. It was like a TV moment.
It was very Benny Hill.
Yeah, it was very. He had like an apron and a chef's hat on.
Oh, do you remember though? I guess you got to kind of put yourself in the timeline. At this time, fascists
loved spaghetti.
Fascists love spaghetti. We've got it from Italy, Mussolini. Like Hogan's Heroes was big, and those shows where the Nazis were now kind of these funny characters.
Yeah.
Because the one guy at the militia compound has a little Hitler mustache.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're hillbillies.
Yeah.
Who are racist. It's funny how it's the same.
Everything remains the same.
Nothing changes. Yeah.
So Angel's Revenge.
In hindsight, discussing it, I think I enjoyed this movie.
I think
I enjoyed the tits. They were nice to look at.
The tits and the riff tracks.
Yeah, I liked watching MST3K. I hadn't watched it in a while. I
wouldn't want to watch this without that.
Exactly. I wouldn't either.
Yeah, it probably would have been torture without the jokes. Although we would have made the jokes.
We make good jokes.
We would have, but we're
funny. We're funny.
Andy, that's hilarious.
I did appreciate how multicultural this little ragtag group was.
It felt, it was borderline.
They had brunettes,
even
blondes.
though
when they introduced, ding, ding. Remember that?
C cups and D cups.
Mm-hmm. There was one flat-chested lady.
There's something for everybody. You had the black girl, you had an Asian girl, you had. You had 2 blondes.
And you covered all the races.
And
there could have been a Latina. I wasn't sure.
When Andy said this movie's diverse, I said, yes, it has blondes and brunettes. But like that,
I laughed at that.
That is, that's kind of, there's like a fine line between diversity and a menu.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying. You're like, this is tokening.
Yeah, this is not coming from a good place. I don't think it is.
We got a couple of people that are real attracted to black girls.
No, for sure
it was a couple of people who are real attracted to Asian girls.
It was never going to come from a good place. This is pure male gaze. This is what this movie was made for.
And it probably isn't it funny that movies made in the 70s for male gaze become the camp of the male gaze of today?
GAZE versus today's GAYS.
Yeah,
it's the male gaze versus not versus, but like it's a moment of synergy between the two things.
Yeah. It's like Willie Mays versus Willie Mays, Maze.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
like,
it's like how we call it corn, and then the Native Americans call it maize.
Willie Corn.
Think about it.
William Entertainment Corn.
Wet.
Can't anymore. Okay, Angel's Revenge. Brian, excellent pick. I had a great time with all of these.
It was fun. Funsies.
It was fun.
Because I like silly. I need silly. I crave Silly.
And I doubt this will be the last time we do ripoffs as a theme.
It was fun.
I do love the idea of revisiting.
Let's rip this
themes.
off later.
We should do another ripoffs theme next year, and I also want to do another witching theme or witchery or whatever we called it, because there's so much. These are deep wells.
We're calling witch, please.
And witchening. And in witchening of our so
it's like you have a it's like you have a speech impediment.
Oh, I lost everything.
Oh no.
Everything?
Oh no.
My hard drive up here just crashed.
Oh dear.
Anyway, I was just going to say something, and I didn't. So I couldn't.
Are you okay? So we're not waiting.
It happens to me a lot.
No. I lost it.
Okay. Okay. I was just checking.
You lost it?
Oh no, I remember.
Now you remember?
Amy.
Yeah.
I remember.
You remember?
Before we say hello and goodbye to our Beelzebubs, hello, goodbye, as the Beatles would say. What is your Topicana question coming up?
All right. So patrons get access to Topicana. I tease the question, and it's coming up. You're a theme park Imagineer tasked with designing a new attraction based on whatever you want from pop culture. Describe your attraction.
Angels Brigade.
Angels Brigade.
Wet and Wild Fun Adventure.
Using
It's just a car wash.
The Disney version, or the Disney definition of the word attraction, which means it can mean a show, it can mean a ride, it can mean a roller coaster, it could mean
a character meet and greet,
an experience,
a meal, a themed meal with characters.
Sure, why not? If that's
Those
what you
are all
want.
things, all attractions, right?
Yeah, it's
In my
It's
mind.
going to be Angels Revenge Jello.
It's going to be the Angels Brigade Electric Parade.
Oh, well, I've already thought I've thought of so many different theme parks that I would open that I already have so many of these ideas to choose from. And if one of you chooses mine, I'm going to be so mad.
So mad.
Will you spare no expense,
We can
Kelley?
choose the same pop culture thing. I bet the attractions will be different.
We could go deep. If one of us has the same thing, we just go deeper into it.
Go deep.
So deep.
Balls deep.
Oh, boy.
What was it that Barb said about he was so deep, touched her heart?
Yeah.
His dick touched her heart or something.
Kelley, you need to watch this movie. It's so funny.
Everybody is shitting their pants over Barb and Star go to Vista Del Mar, and they're correct. It is really good.
Barb and Star go to Vista Del Mar.
It's worth it's one of those.
It's Kristen Wiig and Annie
It sounds
Mumolo.
like a Romeo and Michelle.
Yes, very much so.
Funnier.
It's Kristen Wiig and who?
Her writing partner, Annie Mumolo. I don't know if I'm getting that right.
Anywho, it's one of those first run rentals,
It's
so it's
funnier
like
than
$20.
Romeo and Michelle?
Oh yeah, it's way funnier than Romeo.
I love
and
Romeo and
Michelle.
I think they might be. They're equal.
Yeah, I think you'll laugh more at this personally.
Okay.
We'll see.
At the end of every show, we always say hi to our Beelzebubs.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say hi to Alise.
Hi,
which I did wave at her.
Our
earlier.
number one
She's behind
supporter,
you.
Alise.
Yeah.
Ernest.
Ernie.
Staying okay in Texas, my brother? Amanda.
Mm-hmm. I was just thinking about Ernie, and the thought of Ernie being cold breaks my heart.
He's such a sweet man.
Oh, don't be cold.
Amanda, are you staying warm? Mark, you're in Texas too, buddy. Do you need some blankets?
He's like, wait a minute.
So is Blake.
I'm in Texas, and then he pulled out his gun. He's like, blam, 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 blam.
And he's fine.
And he's like, the stars at night are big and bright.
Blake.
I put the clap in the wrong place, much like the cast of Angels Brigade.
Blake, hello.
Hey, Blake, don't get the clap.
He's also in Texas, I believe.
Oh my God, do you need a blanket? Bill.
He needs a blanket.
Farner. Do you need a blanket?
He is weirdly opposite of Texas. He's in New York City.
He's on the eastern seaboard.
Mm-hmm. He's in the east.
Tree
He's
and
reeling
Alex.
in the east.
Stand warm.
I used to think that's what they were saying in that reeling in the years. I used to think it was
reeling in the east.
Reeling in the east.
You're an idiot. Jeffel. Hi. Iona Goodwin. I had a great one. It's summer where she is. Branan and Emily.
Hi.
Adam Ingram. Ghostface Billa, also in Tejas. Is that how it's pronounced?
These days.
On the other side of the border?
I don't really know.
Blayne.
Blayne.
Monica.
Hey, Monica.
Alyssa left us a voicemail on the most recent episode of Origins.
She did.
So that was 12 years ago, Alyssa. 12 years ago. Brian, thank you so much for your choice this week. It was fun.
Nicely done.
And finally, last but not least, in our minds and hearts, Carla.
Hey, girl.
Turk and Carla.
There were many Scrubs references
So
on this
many
week's
Scrubs
Origins.
references, apparently.
So many.
She was just on, what did we just see her on? Blackish.
Carla. Judy Reyes.
Oh, Judy Reyes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I love her.
Judge Judy Reyes.
So next week we'll be doing our miscellaneous spree episode. Kelley will bring us some news. We'll yip and we'll yap. Who the fuck knows what's going to happen?
It's been a while since
If I can find any news.
Yeah.
Other than I have one bit of news that I learned the other day, so I'm gonna hold on to it.
Okay.
Well, you saw the video.
Oh yes. Anything else before we wrap this shit up?
I don't think so.
Are we done here?
I'm full of my shit is out.
We love you, Texans. You stay safe.
You. We're with you. Keep you warm.
Oh, in Oklahoma too. All right,
Yes,
bye, guys.
all y'all.
Bye.
Frankenstein was wondering if he should go to bed when his old buddy Leatherface put on